She said we weren't official when I caught her with another guy at a pub. When I walked up to ask what was going on, she laughed, turned to the crowd, and yelled, "Someone call security. This creep's been following me all night." The bouncers dragged me out while she pretended not to know me. I didn't argue, just walked away. 3 weeks later, her whole family is at my doorstep, begging for forgiveness. So this happened about 2 years ago, but I still think about it sometimes. Figured I'd finally share, since a buddy of mine said this was pretty wild. I, 31M at the time, had been dating this girl Allison, 28F, for about 6 months. Things were going great, or so I thought. We were together most weekends, texting constantly. She had stuff at my place, I had stuff at hers. You know how it is. To any normal person, we were in a relationship. Important context. Allison comes from the super wealthy, connected family in our city. Her dad's a judge, this matters later. Mom's big in charity circles, brothers in local politics. Real uppity types with their name on buildings and crap. Meanwhile, I'm just a regular IT project manager. Good job, but definitely not family name on a hospital wing rich. Anyway, I was supposed to meet up with my college buddy one Friday, but he got food poisoning and canceled around 9 p.m. I knew Allison was out with her girlfriends at this pub called The Compass, so I figured I'd surprise her there. Big mistake. I walked in and immediately spotted her at the bar. But she wasn't with any girlfriends. She was all over some dude I'd never seen before. Not just talking. His hands were on her waist, she was touching his chest, and as I watched, they kissed. I went up to them, confused as hell, and just said, "Allison?" She looked at me, and I swear for a split second she was shocked to see me. Then her whole face changed, like she put on a mask. "Can I help you?" she said, like I was a total stranger. I was so confused, I just stammered. "What's going on?" The guy with her straightened up and went, "Everything okay, Ollie?" She never let me call her Ollie, by the way. I said, "We're together," and pointed between us. That's when she did the most cold-blooded thing I've ever experienced. She laughed, turned to the whole bar, and yelled, "Someone call security. This creep's been following me all night." The entire place went quiet. Everyone staring at me. 2 huge bouncers immediately grabbed my arms. I tried to explain, "We've been dating for 6 months. But the bouncers weren't listening. "Sir, you need to leave," one said, already dragging me toward the door. I looked at Allison like, "Tell them." And she stared me dead in the eyes and said, "I've never seen this man before in my life." And just like that, I was literally thrown out onto the sidewalk in front of everyone. Door slammed behind me, standing there in the rain like an idiot. I didn't text her, didn't call, didn't demand answers. Something in me just snapped, but not in a rage way. In a cold, calculating way I didn't know I was capable of. For the next week, I put together a file, saved every text between us, every email, every photo of us together, screenshots of her social posts about me before she could delete them, receipts from gifts, hotel bookings from our trips. The works. Then I dug deeper and found out she was seeing 3 other guys while with me. One was the pub guy. Another worked at her family's law firm. Yeah, of course they had a law firm. The third was some political connection through her dad. None of us knew about each other. I made copies of everything, 1 digital backup, 1 at my place, and 1 I had professionally bound like a legal document. That one I mailed directly to Judge Daddy at his courthouse office with a note that said, "Your daughter's character, documented. This goes public tomorrow unless you and Allison meet me at my apartment at 7 p.m. Added my address and number. The judge called me less than an hour after delivery. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he barked into the phone. "I'm guessing you got my package," I said. "This is blackmail. I could have you arrested." "It's just the truth, Judge. I haven't asked for money, but if you'd rather I send this to the partners at your law firm, the Bar Association, your wife's charity board, and your kid's college admissions office, that's your call." Silence. "What do you want?" he finally asked, sounding a lot less tough. Like I said in the note, "You and Allison? My apartment. 7 p.m. Alone, or it all goes out tonight." I hung up. They showed up right on time. The judge looked like he wanted to murder me. Allison was pale as a ghost. I kept them at the door. "You have 5 minutes, the judge said. "Actually, I have as long as I want," I said. "But I'll keep it short. Your daughter publicly humiliated me last week, claiming I was stalking her when we'd been together for 6 months. She had me thrown out of a bar while she continued her date with one of the 3 guys she's been seeing behind my back. Allison tried to deny it. You've been stalking me. Everything in that file is time-stamped and verified. I cut her off. I don't care what you have to say. Here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. at the Compass, Allison will publicly admit what she did and apologize to me in front of the same crowd and the same bouncers who threw me out. Allison laughed. You're insane if you think You'll do it? Her dad interrupted her. And then this ends? The files get destroyed? I keep the files as insurance, I said. But they won't go public if she does this. The judge agreed before Allison could argue more. After they left, my phone blew up with texts from Allison. You can't do this to me. My father will destroy you. Please, he'll kill me if this gets out. He's already threatening to fire me. I ignored them all. Next night, I got to the bar early. Same bouncers were working but didn't recognize me. Place was packed. At 8, Allison walked in alone, spotted me, and came over. Let's get this over with, she hissed. Not yet, I said. We're waiting for someone. At 8:15, pub guy walked in with his friends. Perfect timing. I stood up and walked to the middle of the bar. Allison followed, looking like she wanted to die. Excuse me, everyone, I called out. The place gradually got quiet. Last Friday, I was thrown out of here after this woman claimed I was a stranger stalking her. In reality, we had been in a relationship for 6 months. People started whispering. The bouncers looked uncomfortable. Allison? I prompted. Your turn. Her face was bright red. It's true, she mumbled. Louder, I said, so everyone can hear. She raised her voice. It's true, we were dating. I lied when I said I didn't know him. And, I pushed. And I'm sorry, she gritted out. I shouldn't have had you thrown out. I turned to the bouncers. She's talking about last Friday when you guys removed me. As you just heard, I wasn't stalking her. She was cheating and got caught. One of them actually apologized. I told Allison, we're done here, and left. But I wasn't actually done. That night I sent the full file to the managing partners at her family's law firm, the Bar Association Ethics Committee, and her direct supervisor. By next morning, she was fired. Within days, the whole story had spread through their social circles. 3 weeks later, my doorbell rang on a Sunday morning. The entire Thompson family was standing there. Judge Dad, Charity Mom, Allison, and her 2 siblings. May we come in? The judge asked, looking way less intimidating than before. I let them in. What you did was wrong, he started. Blackmail is a crime. Yeah, it was, I admitted. I was hurt and humiliated and wanted her to feel what I felt. Not my proudest moment. But what Allison did was wrong too, her mom said quietly. We didn't raise her to behave like this. Allison just sat there staring at the floor. You've damaged our entire family, the judge continued. My reputation, my wife's charity work, my son's political career, my younger daughter's college applications. I only meant to hurt Allison, I said honestly. Not all of you. We're here as a family, her mom said. Even when one of us does something terrible. Allison finally looked up. I'm sorry, she whispered. What I did at the pub was cruel. We're asking you to remove the documents from circulation, the judge said. Allison's lost her job and her reputation. She's agreed to therapy. We just want a chance to rebuild without this hanging over our entire family. I thought about it for a minute. The anger had cooled off, and I didn't like who I'd become during all this. I was wrong to blackmail you, I told them. I'll recall the documents. Not for Allison, but because this whole revenge thing isn't who I want to be. They thanked me and left. I sent emails walking back my previous statements, saying I'd shared misleading information out of personal grievance. Didn't completely clear Allison, but gave them room to recover. Never saw or spoke to Allison again. Heard she moved to another city eventually. The judge retired the next year. Their family reputation took a hit, but survived. As for me, I learned something about myself. There's a dark side in there I never knew about. When pushed to the edge, I was capable of calculated destruction. The revenge felt good for a minute, but afterward, I didn't like the person I'd become. Edit. Lot of people asking if I regret it, yes and no. I regret the blackmail part and hurting the whole family. Don't regret holding her accountable for humiliating me in public. Could have found a better way to do it, though. Edit 2. Yes, I know blackmail is illegal. The judge could have pressed charges but didn't. probably because it would have just extended the scandal and hurt his family more. Edit 3. The pub incident really was that bad. Dozens of witnesses, physically thrown out, her straight up denying she knew me. Complete public humiliation. Hard to describe how that feels unless you've been there. Edit 4. Update. It's been 2 years now. I moved to a different city, started fresh. Sometimes I still think about how quickly I turned into someone I didn't recognize. Kind of a wake-up call about what we're all capable of when pushed past our limits.